Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Protected and Promoted, the Business Table, where we have real conversations with entrepreneurs, professionals, and community leaders who are helping businesses grow and communities become stronger. I'm your host, Juan Castaneda, and today's guest has built a career around helping organizations move beyond simply talking about inclusion and begin putting it into practice. Today's guest is Kanetra Kiki Hights, and she is a talented management and diversity leader, the owner of Cultural Hights, board chair of the San Antonio LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce, and a board member of the American Red Cross. Her career has taken her through corporate learning and development, nonprofit leadership, supplier diversity, workplace culture, humanitarian service, and community advocacy. Kiki has created educational programs, helped organizations establish diversity and inclusion initiatives, and even wrote the job description that helped create her own opportunity to move into diversity leadership. She also organized with the 2020. She was also recognized with a 2023 San Antonio Business Journal Diversity and Inclusion Award. Today, we're talking about inclusive leadership, the business value of belonging, and what it takes to create opportunities and stronger communities for people who have not always had a seat at the table. So, Kiki, welcome to the table.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here, Juan.
So am I.
Yay.
I mean, I'm excited to have you. That's why I'm excited too, right? So I like to start with a few icebreakers, just
Okay.
kind of get in. So get our viewers to know you as well. But before we get into leadership, business, and community service, what your biography says you enjoy random road trips. Are you the person who plans every stop, or do you get in the car and see where the road takes you?
I plan nothing except for where I'm going. Okay, so I like to get in the car and just have the destination take me to where I'm going. And if I know where I want to stop, but
yeah,
I don't have it like planned out. Like some people have like, oh, at this time we're gonna stop here. By this time, I'm just like
restroom break at this
restroom break
time,
at this
eat
time.
at this time.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really have those kinds of things planned out. I feel I road trip on vibes.
There we go. I love that.
Does that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So me and my boo are kind of the same. Like we'll go. We went to Dallas and we stopped at like Mammoth Creek. We stopped at um this park that was literally like we'll just see a sign and we're like, oh cool, let's go there. There was like a Ripley's, believe it or not, and
yeah,
we saw the castle. We were like, oh, that looks cool, let's go there. It was like not in the plans, but it was just because it caught the eye that we were like, let's go there. So I'm with you on that. So we'd probably have a good time then.
yes.
What's one road trip or unexpected detour you'll never forget?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question about the places I mean, usually my road trips are like from here to New Orleans. Because I love that road trip because I like to stop in Lake Charles and do a little bit of gambling on the boats, or pick up some boudin, which is why I road trip to New Orleans so I can come back with all my goodies and things like that. Yeah. I think one of the one that sticks out to me the most is that I was with one of my best friends and we went to Louisiana. We were in college and we road tripped to Louisiana from Seguin, Texas, and we went for Mardi Gras. Yeah. And so we had to make like random stop. We like made random food stops. Like in Baton Rouge, we stopped for beignets.
Oh my goodness.
And for king cake. And yeah, so that one really does stick out to me the most because we just had a really good time. And then also we were getting beignets like every stop in Louisiana to see who had the best beignets. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, fun.
That's anything involving food. That's my kind of thing.
I like to build a road trip around some stops for food, right?
Yeah.
Like landmark restaurants and stuff like that.
Well, and after Princess and the Frog, I'm the kind of like when she's like putting the honey on them and everything. I'm like, oh, that looks so good. It's cartoon food, but it still looks just as good. So you studied communication, dramatic media, speech, debate, and theater. Which part of the background still shows up the most in Kiki we see today?
Every one of those. I mean, communication, because of course I have to communicate consistently and all the time with everybody.
Yeah.
I was a theater dramatic media major, even though I did like a lot of script writing and acting. I still use those skills today, and that influences like my public speaking and
Right.
all of that, right? Because to be able to stand in front of the crowd and to be able to say what you have to say, all of that kind of rolls together. Now, if you ask me which one that I love to use the most, it's my debate background. Because, you know, if anyone knows me, I love a good challenge. I love to challenge people in the way that they think and their perspectives. And I love a good little argument too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind people challenging me as long as it's respected and it's both back and forth. So I think I use all of them, but I love to debate.
A healthy debate. I love that you say that, because it's like,
and respectful.
Don't just come at, don't call me out my name, but if you want to talk about like, okay, this is why I think this is wrong, or this is why I think what you said may have been this, or or vice versa, where you're giving that feedback on, here's how I think we could work that better. That's different than just coming out and being like, get out of here, you loser. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
a nice, respectful debate. Yes.
You're also a football fan.
Huge.
And if leadership were a position on a football team, what position would you play and why?
Oh my gosh. I mean, do I have to play, or would I be like the team owner? No.
Let's be real, right?
I mean, I think when I think about that, I think there's like maybe two positions that I would really want to play. Yeah. And I loved playing like flag football in college and stuff like that. And I was always that girl that wanted to be on the football team but couldn't. Because back then, like girls, you can't play football. But I do have to say that if I was on the offense, I would be a running back, because I would just have the quarterback give me the ball and let me run and let me get through these obstacles. And I feel like that's kind of what I do now, is like, just give it to me and I'll run the ball in and I'll get through all these obstacles that people can't.
Yeah.
But then also, if I was on the defense, I would be a defensive tackle, right? Defensive end, because let me knock down the obstacles for you.
I love that.
So that they can't score, right? Let me knock these other things down, so that they can score and we can still be the winning team.
Yeah.
It's all about, I like to knock down obstacles.
Yes.
And get a run through them and get past that.
And see, as a team, that's what we need, right? We need somebody who's going to allow us to run through or to succeed in playing the game. And I feel like you do that a lot in your leadership roles, at least here, working with you in the chamber as well. As I do feel like you create a lot of overcoming barriers, but also giving people the opportunity to be uplifted at the same time. So I think that's comes into play with the combination of your communication, your teaching, and bringing people together. So let's go back to where that journey began.
Okay.
So your journey into leadership and inclusion. So your San Antonio Magazine profile describes you as a diversity, equity, and inclusion leader with more than 20 years of experience. When did you first realize that creating more inclusive workplaces wasn't simply part of your job, but part of your purpose?
I think for me, being part of my purpose, I think it's always been a part of my actual purpose in life. I grew up, my mother was very involved in making sure that as a Black woman, I knew what my life was going to be like, and what the obstacles were and how I was going to be able to tackle them and knock them down. And so I think I grew up with that very much mindset that things are not the same for everybody. But they, how can you make that work? And then leading into high school, I was the first Black student body president.
Yeah.
Of my high school, which is in a very small town. And I think the work that I did there, like leading the student body, helping the kids, and then like taking the initiative to do that really did like lead me on the purpose. But it wasn't until when and people have asked me this question all the time, like what has made you passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and really want to get into that space. And I always think about college. So in college, I was in theater and we did a play on the Laramie Project. And if anybody knows, the Laramie Project is with Matthew Shepard, who was killed in Wyoming because he was gay, right? And we did that play, and that play completely, I feel like, changed my life. So I wasn't in the play, but I was the stage manager for that play. So I managed the cast and how everything, I was like the director's right hand. And so being a part of that, and then that play and seeing the impact that it has, that really did affect me. And I knew no matter what, I was like, at the time, I was like, I'm going to be a big star. I'm going to be on Broadway. I'm going to be an actress. Like, I'm going to do things. And even during that whole time, that play was still in the back of my mind. And I think that is like what drove the passion for when I transitioned to the corporate world. I knew that I needed to be in a position where those things did not happen. And so I always think about like, that's where that has driven my purpose, and that's where it all really like began. But going in the corporate world, I was in learning, and I was in HR. I did like orientations and benefits and all of that, and then I slowly transitioned into like learning and development.
Wow, that's wonderful. I mean, and then kind of going back to obstacles, right? I mean, you have shown that we can overcome those obstacles and break through them even. And I think that speaks to a lot of your titles, director, board chair, and board member for American Red Cross. And I go back to we were talking with Luis, our executive director for the San Antonio LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce, and he was really giving praise to your diversity training that I definitely got to take part in, and we were just talking about how necessary it was, but it kind of goes in hand too with the theme that we had for our Pride Week, which was power, pride, and possibilities. Pride, power, and possibilities. And I think you not only show the art community, but you show people of color, children of color, what can be possible. You can be at the head of the table, and you can be a leader. And I think that I just want to give you your flowers and say that's beautiful.
I appreciate it. So much. I think it's important for me to resonate with every single identity that I have, because if you know how hard your journey is, why would you want somebody else to go through the same thing? So I think you have to like take those initiatives, and that's why I work with like the Lemonade Circle, which is a San Antonio organization for Black girls in middle school and high school, because I want to make sure that I contribute to their growth, and so there's different things that I think that people can do to really make those changes and to really initiate that growth. But the allyship training, we're talking about for the chamber that we have, it's so important because there are people out there who want to be supportive, and they're not a member of the community, but they support the community, or they have children who are part of the community, or they, their best friend, but they don't quite know what to do. And so I think the training really helps with that. And not only that, like from entrepreneur to entrepreneur. And for those of you watching who own storefronts, we all know like the hate crimes that can happen to business owners. for being out and open.
Yeah.
And people need to know how to manage those situations in
I agree.
stores and out in public. What do
Yeah.
I do if I see somebody getting bullied or a hate crime is happening?
Yeah. And that's something you do through Cultural Heights
Mm-hmm.
Solutions, your business. And I will make sure to link that down in our description here for the episode. Um, but I definitely want to say, I took something from it as somebody who's in the community and faces, adversity and um, profiling and discrimination at times. And I still was able to. So no matter where you are or how developed you feel, I feel it is a wonderful class to still take because you will have a takeaway. There's something to learn for everybody. And but you started learning and development before moving more directly into diversity and
Mm-hmm.
inclusion. How did teaching and employee development prepare you for the leadership work you do today?
Well, let me take a little step back on my teaching. So, I did get my teaching degree,
Wow.
and um, my grades were 8 through 12. I taught speech and debate,
Yeah.
and I taught for 1 year. And I said, you know what? Love those kids, but they're not for me.
You know?
It takes a very special. I admire teachers so much. It takes
Yeah.
a very special person to work day in and day out with our teachers. They are not appreciated enough. Like teachers should be paid like doctors,
Yeah.
because they are literally saving lives too.
Yeah.
And so I do admire. But for me, in mine, I was like, I got to do a little bit more
Yeah.
and doing this and really get out there. So I transitioned from teaching kids to teaching adults, which you think would be worse, but actually,
Yeah.
it was a challenge. And like we said, I like to be challenged, right?
Yeah.
And so, um, being able to move into the corporate world and work on do learning and development. I
Yeah.
started out very low doing, um, you know, call center, and then I was in manufacturing, and I did a lot of like machinery training and
Yeah.
HASCOMs and a lot of Six Sigma for our manufacturing people, making sure
Yeah.
that process was rolled out correctly. And so I did a lot of that, and then I slowly, gradually started like moving my way up and doing more of leadership development, which is where my true passion was like I realized that there is a disconnect with
Yeah.
leaders and employees.
Right.
And leaders sometimes do not have the training, the skills, or the means to get all of the necessary abilities to be able to lead groups.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the big things is like, are you promoting people into positions because they have leadership skills or because they do their job well? Some people do their job well and they're not good leaders.
I agree. I understand
So,
that. Yeah.
and a lot of people base their promotions on, oh, you did an excellent job. But how are you with leading people? Because now you
Mm-hmm.
have to lead teams, you have to communicate with people, and that looks a lot different. And so that was really like my emphasis on being like learning and leadership development. And then I moved over into
Yeah.
DEI.
Well, I love that too, the way you say that, because it's the same with business owners. Is sometimes they know how to own a business, they know how to do all the administrative, they know how to do all of the, um, return on investments, their accounting and all of that, but they don't know how to lead, so they have a
Mm-hmm.
high turnover, or they're not able to keep anybody, or they're always arguing with their staff, and
Or they have poor customer service skills
Ye-
and they don't know how to manage their customer base. Yeah.
right, which can just as easily wreck a business or a company.
Mm-hmm.
So I did want to ask, you did write your own job description at one of your jobs,
I
and
did.
what gave you the confidence to identify the gap and propose the solution yourself?
Yeah, I was at a company that we had a diversity and inclusion council, and I was a member of the council. Um, I was just in a position where the person that I worked for, who was an amazing leader, mentored me and still mentors me.
Yeah.
She actually was like, we were doing a lot of work, and I
Mm.
was like, this needs to be my full-time job. Because I'm
Mm.
doing a lot of initiatives for this. This needs, it's important to it, it should be important to the company.
Yeah.
It needs to be in a full-time position because these projects directly impact what the company is doing and its bottom line and
Yeah.
all of that. So I was like, I'm gonna put together a job description because this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that initiative. I wrote my own job. I researched. I wrote my own job description.
Yeah.
I wrote a diversity ROI, return on investment. What would that position mean to the company and bring forth to that? And I took it to my leader at the time to be like, let let's move me over, or like
Yeah.
let's do like a little title change. Let's do something so that this shows impact, and then I can work on it 100% of the time. And that's, I mean, and it worked out really well because
Yeah.
I was able to really fully like do a lot of that 100% of the time and take those initiatives.
That's amazing. I mean, that's a very impressive, and I think, I did want to ask you, like, what did you do? What would you give as a suggestion to other professionals who see a void in their business and the business they're either working for in their own
Mm,
to make that kind of jump? And I think you really gave that answer by saying, you made sure that they understood how it would help their business return on investment. So in terms of money speaks,
yeah.
when they see the dollars, they're kind of like, oh, you know what? You might not be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what can professionals learn from your experience? And when they see an opportunity that organization's leadership hasn't recognized yet, is there anything in addition to the ROI that you think
I mean, I
they
think
can?
that you also have to take risk and you also have to be bold about it as
Yeah,
well, and not just for a lot of people there's a fear component
yeah,
to making a leap
right,
because either I'm gonna get fired for it, or
right,
it's not the right time, or and you do have to be able to read the situation, read the room, and know how to approach it. But I
right,
approach everything with a strategy. Here's what
yeah,
I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do it. This is why I'm gonna do it. And if it's the right time, and also
right,
like getting advice from mentors and seeing like what would be the best possibility. I think that's the right thing. So definitely read the room before you just jump into a
right.
situation. You just don't want to jump into it like with sight unknown and be like, this is what I deserve. I'm gonna do this. And I'm like, that's not even the right pathway. Like we're
you
not even
know,
we're not even speaking the same
right,
language. So you also have to be able to speak the same language. For me, I was already doing the job. It was
right,
just not in writing, and it was just not acknowledged, and it
yeah,
needed to be acknowledged. So you have to be able to read the room. You have to be bold in your approach and how to do it as well, and come with all your facts. You got to come with A, B, C, D,
yeah,
all down the line as well. And when I started out in the corporate world, I was a little bratty. I didn't like,
uh,
I was like out from college, had
yeah,
my teaching degree, kind of like, oh, I know it, like,
uh
and
huh,
then you have to have like a real quick reality check and stuff. And
yeah,
so, getting a mentor and a leader who like would talk to me and have these conversations
yeah,
helped me out so much. And so I always encourage, like, especially college kids, if you don't have a mentor, you got to get a mentor,
yeah.
like ASAP, get a
Mm,
mentor.
I love that. And so you later worked with organizations,
Hmm.
including the National Diversity Council and Goodwill Central Texas. How did working in the nonprofit sector change your understanding of leadership and community impact?
I the nonprofit sector does not get enough recognition in the world as it should,
Yeah,
because working in nonprofit is hard. It's very hard work,
yeah,
and it is very mission driven. And I know there's a big component, you're trying to raise money and finances, but you're raising these funds for mission and for people and for, things that don't come naturally as well.
Right.
And I think for anyone who is a leader in a nonprofit, you know that your leadership skills have to be very expansive, because you're not just you. Yeah, you're leading teams and people who work for you, but you're also leading heavy community initiatives that make change in one way, can change it for the better or for the worse for the community. And so your leadership skills expand very far and beyond of, like, I got people I gotta lead, I gotta process, I gotta lead, you gotta lead people, I gotta lead process, I have to lead communities. In some instances, some nonprofits have to lead with political views in mind, and also government officials as well. And that's a part of your span. So I give a lot of props to nonprofit leaders. You're managing a lot in a small amount of money.
Yeah.
And you're also trying to stay on budget. So it's a very expansive, and I know a lot of nonprofit leaders focus on servant leadership. One of the things that Cultural Heights does is, because we do a lot of nonprofit leadership consultation and training, is talk about, like, what are the things outside of servant leadership that you have to be prepared for. What is, like, the strategy parts that you need, and everything like that. And so that's key as well. And a lot of times people forget about those things. Servant leadership is easy if you come with the servant heart.
Right. But I get what you're saying too, though. The leadership can affect whether you're taking a pebble, or like whether you're chipping a pebble out of the work that needs to be done, or taking a chunk. And so I can understand how that can either ignite or inspire your volunteers too.
Yeah.
But today your work includes talent management. How has your understanding of developing people changed as you move through these different leadership roles?
It changes all the time, especially when generations change. And managing a lot of conversations with different generations, and um, you know talking about career paths, and talking about um, where you're going to be at and what you want to do. I have a group through Cultural Heights that we mentor, and one of the main conversations is like, well, I don't know what that career path looks like for me, or I don't know what that future looks like, because I've never done this before, but this is what I want to do. And so to be able to, like, you have to be able to lay all of that down, and also be able to associate, like, where they're going to go with, here's the training that you need, here are the opportunities that you need, here is, like, the development that you need in order to get there. It takes a lot of putting all that together for people in order for them to meet their goals and their dreams.
Right. Not just be put out and good luck.
Yeah. Here you go.
Figure it out.
Figure it out for yourself. Right. So, and especially since jobs change all the time, like, look how many AI jobs there are right now.
And then look at how many people who created the AI jobs are losing their jobs to the AI. And then other jobs come up on the other end of it. But your career shows that inclusion can't stop at a statement on a website. It has to influence people are hired, developed, supported, promoted, and given access to opportunities. Um, the language around diversity, equity, and inclusion has become increasingly politicized. When you strip away the buzzwords, what does an inclusive workspace actually look and feel like?
Yeah. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
I always talking about that. I'm like, where we were 5 years ago is completely different than where we are right now. But the words may be different, but the feeling and the vibes in the situation is still the same.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about that, all I say is like, do you not want to go into a place and feel like you're welcomed, you belong, and you're respected?
Right.
That's all that DEI is. DEI is like, I can bring 100% of who I am to any place and feel like I belong there.
Yeah.
And feel that there's resources there to make me feel belonged. Like,
Right.
if I am in a wheelchair and I can't get in the door, then I don't feel like I belong there.
Yeah.
But if there's a ramp for me and I have resources there to help me navigate the building, and I'm not judged because I'm in a wheelchair, and
Yeah.
I have the skills and abilities to contribute, then I feel like I'm in a place where I belong and I feel like I'm respected, you know? And that's all that it is. And it's the things that you have to do to make people feel like they belong there. But I
Right.
shouldn't have to change myself in order to fit in.
I
It's
get
like
that.
it's like cars in the parking lot. It's like, and this is what I tell people with I say, when you're looking for a job, if you go into a place and you look in the parking lot and all the cars are the same, that is not the place for me,
Yeah.
because that means that everybody thinks the same,
Mm-hmm.
looks the same, they drive the same cars and they make the same amount of money. There is no kind of individuality there. I want to be able to be in the workplace. Well, I mean, just straight up, I want to be able to be in the workplace, Black, LGBTQ,
Yeah.
is a proud. I just want to be able. I'm just trying to go to work and make a living.
That's
But
right.
for me to have to go to work and make a living and to think I have to change the way that I am in order to get the respect I deserve, that takes a lot of energy. Who has
Yeah.
time for that?
True. It should be just literally we show up, we work, and we're able to do our job without any worry of discrimination or
Mm-hmm.
being, like you said, judged. And I agree with that. It's not that hard, I don't feel. And it's like when I go through the drive-through, it's funny because every once in a while they're like, okay, please drive up, ma'am. Look, for me, and this is just my own personal opinion, is I'm like, hey, you could think I'm a man, woman, velociraptor, whatever it is, but as long as when I get up there my sandwich is correct, I don't care what you
Mm-hmm.
will respect me. And I think that's where a lot of people have it wrong, is that it's just everybody deserves and needs respect. And
Everybody, yeah.
yeah, so I think that's great work that you're doing. And but what should a business use to measure or to know whether its efforts are actually working? How can an organization tell the difference between genuine inclusion and something that's mainly performative?
Mm, yeah. Performative inclusion is something else.
Yeah.
But I feel like now in today's time, your employees will tell you if you're performative inclusion.
Yeah.
If they don't complain about it, then they're performing as well. If you have an increase in retention, like your employees are staying, your turnover rate's not high,
Mm,
you get like, people want to come and work there.
yeah.
Like, I didn't pay for my 100 best places to work for. Like, no, people really want to come and work there, and
Yeah.
they promote your business on social media. They tell their friends, come and apply here.
Mm,
And they tell their family, this is where you want to be
yeah.
at and this is where you want to work. And you're able to retain employees and you're able to acquire employees on a regular basis. Then that is when one of the signs that like, oh, I have a very inclusive place. It also lies in your policies as well. And this is what we go through a lot with when we go to organizations and we start doing the strategy work. Is like, what does your policies look like?
Mm,
Do you have, does your insurance take care of partner relationships? Like,
mm,
where if I'm a same-sex relationship, my partner is also cared for in an insurance policy, and I'm allowed to
yeah.
put them on insurance policies. Am I being taken care of medically, like my medical resources for trans?
Yeah.
That's huge. And if I
Right.
have those capabilities to do that, even go as far as like, I cover mental health.
Yeah.
How many organizations don't cover mental health in their insurance?
Right.
And that is one of the biggest struggles for people financially, is like paying out of pocket for a therapist when they know that they need the mental health, or
Yeah.
my child has autism and I need resources for my child. I have older parents. I know a lot of companies now started doing insurances to save for nursing homes for older parents.
Yeah.
All of these things have to be thought about, and people miss the bucket on a lot of those things when it comes to their policies. You know,
Right.
am I being flexible for people who have um, disabilities or autoimmune diseases, where I have those resources at work for them? What are my
Yeah.
resources look like? So
Yeah. Because I mean, it does, like you say, it helps with their retention, helps with their so in terms of like how you were talking earlier, return on investment, it's like, do you want to be spending money to acquire a new employee, and the training costs that come with that, which is really
which is
where,
heavy.
yeah, because that's time while you're paying somebody to basically not work, because they have, so you're paying somebody to train them, you're paying them to work for you're paying them to be
To train.
trained for that time they're out. And so by the time they can actually get to work to produce anything for you, it's time has gone by and money has been spent. So I can agree with that. Not that I have to. That's your point. But I do want to say, I have had the privilege of serving alongside you on the chamber board, so I get to see part of your leadership up close. But I want our audience to understand the larger vision behind the work.
Mm,
What does becoming board chair of the San Antonio LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce mean to you personally?
everything. It does. It means everything to me. It
Yeah,
means so much to be able to have the honor to be in that position. I don't
yeah,
take it lightly at all. I'm very serious about my position as board
hmm,
chair as well. And it means a lot. It means a lot for various reasons. First of all, it means a lot because um, as a Black woman,
hmm,
we're not in the LGBTQ space here as much as we should be.
yeah,
And to be able to serve in a leadership capacity, I can. I want, one of the things I always make sure, and you've been in meetings with me when I've been like, what are we got to talk about the Black people not being represented, like, like
yeah,
I always bring it up because it's important to me that the history and the foundation that the Black people set forth in the LGBTQ community is representative.
yeah,
So that's the first thing that I don't take lightly, is that we have to have that representation more, which
yeah.
is exactly why I joined the chamber, is because I saw a lack of representation for Black women. And I wanted to
Wow.
ensure that that voice was heard, because Black women are a part of the LGBTQ community as well.
Right.
That was my number one thing. Number two is growing up and knowing that I was bisexual and not having the resources or the outlet to be able to comfortably say that
Yeah.
without being judged. I wanted to ensure that that was also something that I was very passionate about, and wanted to make sure that it was represented as well, and
Hmm.
to be able to understand what that meant for others. And then, as
Yeah.
you know, Juan, because you're an entrepreneur, a great entrepreneur in
Thank you.
resources, and I am an entrepreneur as well. That is so, the entrepreneurship is key, and I don't think people realize the amount of trouble that LGBTQ businesses have with like getting funding. We're,
Mm.
high rate of turn downs in banks
Yeah.
for being LGBTQ, when you're looking for loans and funding as well. But also to ensure that people had a safe space where they wanted to go, and
Yeah.
make sure that, if I have someone in my family who's transitioning and I want to go for coffee, here's where you can go. And the chamber does that. We provide like those lists to the city, and
Yeah.
people can go and they can feel safe, and then also ensuring that our stores don't close down and our business fronts don't close down, and especially in this economy as well.
That's wonderful, and we do need safe spaces, and I am proud to have my business Castaneda Integrated Services on in our directory,
Yes.
and we are glad to welcome Lemonade Promo as well. And I'm a marketing manager with Lemonade Promo, but our owner is Lorinda Moya, and I love how on board she was to join the chamber, and so she's an ally, and I think that's just as important as well, to know where our allied brothers and sisters are too. And
yeah, shout out to our ally community. Shout out to our ally community. We have some amazing allies in the chamber. Do we not, want amazing ally businesses who have stepped up and stepped forward and just ask what do you all need?
I love it.
It's amazing.
I like to when I go to networking events, I definitely do lead with, I'm a proud LGBTQ plus owned business, and I love to say I'm certified gay because I'm nationally certified.
Yes, one is a national LGBTBE, and I know you had Renee on the podcast, but big ups to Renee, and she's a great ally as well. We are the LGBTBE is one of the it's in Texas. Bear County is the only one that recognizes the LGBTBE certification. So that it was a lot of our working relationship with Renee. So
yeah, I love that, and you can check out the interview with Renee here on episode 2. Just wanted to make sure and get that plug in, but definitely it's nice to see that our money and currency is what I always say is currency is universal, because at the end of the day my money spends the same. So you don't have to be gay, bi, lesbian, trans. You don't have to be part of the community to be an ally and to profit and to create economy with us, is what I'm getting at.
I mean, we have been. I mean, we are doing it. LGBT community, the chamber. We have businesses in every facet
because they're doing it for who?
Themselves. Okay. I mean, I'm serious because I just think about the unique amount of businesses we have. How many businesses own charcuterie places? If you want a charcuterie board, we got you. And that's a new form of business that we didn't have. No one was doing charcuterie boards 5 years ago. But we have businesses who do that. We have people who make jewelry and couture pieces.
Yes.
We have a really big sector in healthcare, with Apollo and all of those places where you can go for your. I mean, I just think the gambit of how we've grown the amount of businesses that we have is amazing, which shows that LGBTQ people, we do everything.
Yeah.
And we do it well.
There we go. That's right. So I do want to get to the segment here that we do every show, which is called 4 at the Table.
Okay.
And it represents every leg of the table.
Oh, I love that.
Now, for our first one, it is the business myth. What's one business myth you'd like to bust?
Ooh. Oh, a business myth that I would like to bust. I mean, I feel like there's so many business myths out there, right? Especially when you work in the corporate environment. It's like, is that really happening? I know people always ask me, is that really true? Does that stuff really happen? And I'm like, yeah, it does. I think one of the business myths that I would like to bust is about people like to think that training and development is a waste of time, right? Why am I doing this? This is just regulated. And I'm like, no, you really need to be doing this training. You really need to take and learn. Leadership development is not anything if you go around and you say I'm a great leader and I've never taken a leadership development class, I
Yeah.
got another story for you. You need to be taking leadership and development because the tools that they give you in those courses will help you succeed. Like
Right.
really truly help you. The proof is in it. I have an inclusive leadership cohort as a part of Cultural Heights. It's a 4-month program. It's open up to anyone that, and they can take it. Juan will run my email address here if you want more information about it. But it is a 4-month program focused on an inclusive leadership process.
Yeah.
All the way from learning what that means and to you actually work on a project for your company where you have to be an inclusive leader and implement this into your organization.
Yeah.
And I think that's key in helping leaders understand like this is why this stuff is important because you're not just leading people in the sense you're leading the work that they do as well, and you need to be inclusive in that also. So it's really been an effective program with people who are implementing projects and having to manage people as well. So
well, and I got to say, even your allyship training is you made it interactive and fun because I will say sometimes it's not enough just to deliver the information because then you get that who's the guy Bueller like don't be delivering it all monotone either. I get it, it's just it's a lot of information sometimes, but I think when you make it interactive and break out into activities and things where we kind of role play or we talk about, we see how it's applied to. So I do love the approach that you have on that
I like to
teaching
do
too.
realistic role play examples in that too. I think
Yeah.
we did some role playing in
We
the
did.
allyship training, and that's available through the chamber as well. You can reach out to us in regards to like taking that training also because we go through heavy scenarios. If you're in the office and you're approached with this situation, how do you handle it? If you're in a store and you hear someone talking and you want to jump in, what is the right things to say? So
don't be looking for John Quinones. You know what I'm saying?
You know, these are real things happening.
Yeah. So what next is our business spotlight.
Okay.
What's one local business you'd like to give a shout out to today and why?
Okay. I mean, I can think of so many businesses because we have so many businesses that are a part of the chamber, right? I do want to shout out to my mentor's business, if I can. So my mentor, her name is Valerie Wilson, and she owns a company called Essence Learning. She's also in the learning space, and she has an amazing class called Respect in the Workplace, and learning the aspects of respect and what that means. It is fully focused on being respectful, respecting others. And also, what I love about that class is that you examine moments where you've been disrespectful. People don't think that you're disrespectful. Sometimes you are. And you gotta like she brings it to your face. Like, when have you been disrespectful? And you don't examine that really. You examine when others have been disrespectful to you, but when do you admit that you've actually been disrespectful for yourself? And that's what I love about that class. And I'm happy to be one of her certified facilitators for that course as well. But I do just want to shout out because she is like, that is one person who has highly changed my life.
That is wonderful, and I'll make sure to include a link and
the website,
logo and all that good stuff, all that information for you guys. See, I probably couldn't do anything like that because I just have a box here that says who's the villain, and they open the box, it's a mirror. And
Stop.
So the next leg of the table is the weekly challenge. What's one challenge you'd like to leave our audience with this week that could help them better become a better business owner, professional, or leader?
I think one challenge that I like to leave everybody with is I pretty much do this every year is I take a class that's not in my area of knowledge. And so for some people who know, I just came back from campaign school, candidate school for political campaigns. I mean, that's going to be coming for me in the near future, just a teaser. But I never thought that I would be going into the campaign space. And I took this class and it was very life changing for me. And so every year I try to do some type of learning, some type of class that I would normally not put in my arena of like, this is what I do typically or basic. And I take something new and exciting. So take something new and exciting, that class that you've been wanting to take but haven't taken. It could be like, I've been wanting to know how to knit. Go take a knitting class. I know San Antonio has tons of like little knitting groups and everything like that. I see all this stuff being posted on the social media pages. Like, go and do that. Take a class on social media. Like, do something outside of your arena to enhance, to give you another skill to add to your resume.
I love that. Well, now, fourth chair, final leg, advice to your younger self. If you were sitting across from the table from yourself 10 years ago,
oh gosh,
what's one piece of business or leadership advice you'd give your younger self?
I had to think about the year when I was 10 years ago. No, 2016.
When you were 15.
I was, no, not when I was 15. I think 10 years ago for me was a buckle down period. And I think it's all within your age. But like 10 years ago for me, I was like I was in the crossroads of my corporate kind of career where I needed to decide, am I going to continue on the path of like advancing and being like, I want to go for higher positions? Or am I going to be in the path of like, I'm content at where I am? Or did I want to be, maybe start a new career or start something? And if I was going to do it, I'd do it then because, I was like 35 and I was like, what are you going to do? But I think I would go back and tell my younger self, I actually would go back and tell my younger self, it's like, you're going to be okay. Whatever decision that you make, you're going to be okay. But I would also back and reassure my younger self that I did make the right decision. Because I don't have any regrets to the path that I decided to take, which was to continue to grow and to continue to be in a higher position. And I wanted to be a director by the time I was 40, and I was a director. I wanted to, work on like, what am I going to do to own a business and all. I wanted to get there. And I think 10 years ago, I thought that I couldn't do it. And I have any confidence. And I just want to go back and reassure that 35-year-old girl sitting at the corporate with a little ruffled blouse on that it's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. Just do it and be confident in the way that you do it.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I'm definitely going to be having description links for everything that we've talked about here today. But is there anything coming up here in the near future you'd like to let our audience know about?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that what I'm currently working on right now is I wanted to leave the chamber with a legacy, and something that, I'm only going to be board chair for, well, this year and maybe next year if I'm elected. I can do one more year as board chair, but I wanted to leave the chamber with something that I started that would be impactful, and for them to continue on and to continue to make an impact to the community as well. And so the legacy project is the business summit. I wanted to have a summit, of course, because I'm all about education and learning and opportunity. An educational business summit for small businesses and for corporations who work with small businesses or who do supplier diversity work as well. And that focuses on, here are the skills and the opportunities for you to move forward, but also matches small businesses and corporations together so that they can work. And so I'm so happy that we're having our very first annual Small Business Summit on October 21st, 9 to 5 at Plaza del Sueño. It's going to be great. It's a quite different summit. It's like no regular conference.
Yeah.
We have a track. If you're a small business owner, you're going to go through a track of courses talking about finances. How do I do my bookkeeping? We're going to be talking about AI and cybersecurity for your business, which I think is going to be great. Like how to utilize AI the right way and the correct way, and how to cyber secure your business. We're going to be talking about digital marketing. So it's going to be a lot of tools to help businesses move forward. I love it.
That's amazing. And then I will make sure to link, of course, the chamber website. And of course, that's salgbtqchamber.com. And then that way you can keep up with our upcoming events. So once we do have that uploaded in the events calendar, you'll be able to see that as well. But Kiki, I just want to thank you.
Thank you, Juan, for having me. I enjoyed it. I enjoy our times together. We always have a good time together.
Me too. I really do. And for sharing your experience and your leadership and your commitment to creating meaningful opportunities for others. Your journey reminds us that inclusion isn't separate from good business or strong leadership. It influences who gets heard, who gets developed, and who receives an opportunity, and ultimately how prepared and resilient our communities can become. To learn more about Cultural Heights, connect with San Antonio LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, or support the work of the American Red Cross, check the links that I will have in the episode's description. If this conversation gave you something to think about, please like this episode, share it with another business owner or community leader, and subscribe to Protected and Promoted, the Business Table. Thank you for joining us at Protected and Promoted, the Business Table. Until next time, keep protecting what you've built, promoting what makes you unique, and remember, every great conversation starts at the table. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
What a powerful conversation with Kanetra Kiki Hights. From talent development and inclusive leadership to supplier diversity and community service, Kiki reminds us that inclusion isn't simply a statement. It's a commitment to opening doors, creating opportunities, and making sure more people have a meaningful seat at the table. To learn more about Cultural Heights, connect with Kiki using the information on your screen. You can also learn more about her work as board chair of the San Antonio LGBTQ+ Chamber of Commerce and as a board member of the American Red Cross through the links in this episode's description. If this conversation inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thank you for joining us at Protected and Promoted, the Business Table. Until next time, keep protecting what you've built, promoting what makes you unique, and remember, every great conversation starts at the table.